So that's welcome to my home and um something new, something different. It's been a long break, I know. I Big flash news. I moved countries. I moved back to India. And now I'm going to just set up my new workspace. I've got bigger plans in mind, but for now, we're going to set up my workspace here. And yeah, just come join me in some decluttering, some arrangements. Let's have some fun. And while I'm arranging it, it's going to be story time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this entire shift. And you can also watch me arrange my space. We got to coat our palette with some cling wrap. So, you know, this is the best. Okay, this is a hack, guys. This is a hack for all our oil painters and acrylic painters out there. You coat your palette with cling wrap or something that you can just peel off and chuck it in the bin. Because the one rule of oil painting or acrylics is you don't wash it down the drain. That's going to ruin your pipes. That's going to ruin your soil. So you have to dispose it off um, the way you dispose of waste that goes into the landfill or that gets incinerated. So yeah, we forgot our scissors. I'm going to be back. So yeah, time to coat my new palette with the cling wrap. I think I think this is good enough for now. You know, because I'm going to keep disposing it off again and again. So might as well, you know. Great, so that's done. Um, my brushes. I got these. Actually, my cousin gifted it, but I got these from the States. And okay, okay. So story time. I shipped an entire box of my art supplies and artworks from Australia because moving countries is already so hard. Um, on top of that, when you're moving as a single person, and you're moving right maybe a year or so after education, so you're not really settled in. So I didn't have that many things compared to families that relocate. Um, but but it was still a move. It was still a big move because I did my education and I worked a little bit in Sydney, and I decided to pack my bags and move back to India and explore and kickstart my career here. Just because I'm so Indian at heart, and I think just being surrounded by this culture again and all that makes who I am today, I wanted to be part of it again, not so geographically disconnected from this place. So that's why I moved back. And yeah, and how do you decide what goes with you when you move countries? Like, how do you decide that, right? It's really difficult to do that, guys. I I learned different tactics. People advised me on all kinds of things, but in the end, it just came down to what mattered and what could be bought. And so I donated like maybe 3 to 4 bags of my clothes, just gave it off to charity, just left it because clothes can be bought, cosmetics can be bought, skincare can be bought, appliances can be bought, hell, even art supplies can be bought. But I wanted a few art supplies with me because they're expensive and I don't want to spend so much money again. But artworks that I made with my heart and soul, I can make again, yeah, for sure. But I think they can't be replaced as well. So I packed all the important things that I created, a few uni student magazines that I really adored and I wanted to collect, and a few knickknacks here and there, and I shipped it. And I was just praying to God that they show up in one piece because sometimes shipments get destroyed on the way, right? So I'm so glad that my brushes landed in one piece, and now I can arrange my little workspace in peace. And then now that it comes to the point of rearranging and resetting, I need my jars, right? I need my jars, and I'm all about recycling, reusing, sustainability. So this tray, that tray, was something that the family probably doesn't use anymore. So I can use it as my palette. And I need my jars for my oil and um, turpentine mixture, right? For my painting. So it's time to use these jars we got goodies in, and then they're over and they washed it, and I can reuse it as my little mixture jar. And I'm gonna use this big one here for a clear distilled turpentine jar because okay, here's something which another tip for my painters out there, my beginner painters. um Always have 2 jars. Okay, you have one jar which is your mixture 50%. Sometimes you can do 40/60, or you can do 50/50, linseed oil and turpentine for the medium for your painting. But you also need another jar of clear turpentine, and I would say add a little bit of soap water in that as well, because you can use that as a washing liquid, because you need to wash your brushes right after painting. So your washing liquid and then obviously dab it over a piece of fabric. But that's a tip. So this big one is going to be my clear turpentine washing liquid, and then I still need to buy linseed oil, so I'm going to mix that in. So for now, I'm just going to pour in some turpentine in this. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's been not been put in here, so I'm going to look at that later on. Anything else? Okay. That one, just a regular plastic takeaway cup, reusing it for watercolor paintings because it's just water, so I can just pop that in. And I'll keep that inside for now because I'm not doing any watercolor paintings anytime soon. Uh, okay, we finally managed to get that to open because okay, these are all like toxic chemicals, right? So they're very difficult. The bottles are very difficult to open. I mean, that's all just for safety measures, so I understand. But anyways, so we've got that in there. I'm gonna add the soap water later on, just before I start painting. But for today, we're just setting it up, right? So we're just gonna keep that. Let's keep that down there because that's not gonna be touched very often. And we've got our painting medium ready. I haven't bottle and seed oil, like I said, so I'm gonna get that in tomorrow. Um, and I'll mix it soon. Okay, so we've got all the important stuff out of the way. Oops, the light went off. Anyways, so got all the important stuff out of the way. Um, got the scissors can go back in my stand. Don't need that here. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. Okay, so that's a spare canvas. Okay, another thing. I was digging out my wardrobe for, just decluttering my old drawers and everything. And I found some things to start working on. Empty canvas tiny board. Definitely going to use that. So we're going to just keep materials to work on inside for now because no creating messes. And I found these watercolor papers. I think I just sketched something when I was in high school. Anyways, so I found that and I'm gonna just paint over it, start fresh. So I've got all the papers and my board and backing ready to start sketching and painting. The most important thing, rags. We found rags. Um, so I cut them into pieces so I don't have to worry about, you know, um, like using a rag till the last minute, which I will be doing. But once it's done, chuck it in the bin. Chuck it in, not into something that goes back into the soil. It has to be something that gets incinerated because it is harmful to the soil. Let's remember that. Another tip for my painters out there, don't put these things back into the soil. Let's not ruin our earth like that. Let's try and keep it as sustainable as we can because that's something that really we got to think about because we're artists at the end of the day, right? So if your thought process is revolutionary. Your actions can't be regressive, right? So let's go with that. So I cut them into multiple pieces. Maybe I'll use like one rag for watercolors, and then I'm going to use one rag for oils. So it's good to have a bunch here, which again, I'm going to pop it there. And when I start painting, I'll be a bit more organized. But that's it for now. Oh yeah, so I was trying yeah, trying to mix the linseed oil. So this was our turpentine, right? First, let's open the bottle. Okay, so we got it to open finally. Okay, so I had put 50% turpentine, and it's going to be 50%, maybe 20%. I might put just very little because you get them in really tiny bottles. But ooh, take that one off, and we'll put that. Should be enough for now. So that's our linseed oil. Okay, and just to stir it up a little bit. Taking my rag, wiping it. And that, we can seal that off for now. And we crash, but that's how you can mix your painting medium. And I'm just gonna show that that's how I'm keeping my rags, just like a bunch of them. I'm gonna split them apart, snip them, and keep them aside for when I start painting. What I normally do is I take a piece of rag. Okay, out of my multiple pieces, I take a piece of rag, and I sort of fold it into a neat, organized sort of dabbing drying pad, and I'll show you how I do that. Just super easy. I'm gonna snip that and very neatly fold that into a thick layer, I would say, because it has to really absorb the water, right? You don't want the water going onto your surface like your desk. So just keep that there. And then you keep your palette on top of that so it doesn't move, and it's perfect. So you take your paint and you dab it, and it's organized, it's neat, and it makes your painting experience much, much better and efficient. But that's all I wanted to say. I can't do this, guys. I have to fix my mic so this doesn't keep happening for future videos. But beware, I'm gonna go mute. It's gonna be distorted soon because it's crashing again. Uh, all this yapping. Um, but yeah. My mic just went off again. I think it lost battery or something. But I just want to say thank you for watching my video, and stay tuned for another one next week. Back to episodes.